what liberation can I give myself? Because let's say, at the very worst, right, there's many things that I have opened my mind to consciously, because that's the nature of what meditation is. The more quiet you become, the more information will come to you. But I have to have or come from the understanding that this is a lifetime process. This is a really long process. And I still have all of my human selves, like the music. For me, I find liberation in it. It's, for me at this time, feels like a great thing to do. It helps me keep my mind quiet. My mind comes up with a lot of stuff. So the music is a good way to actually get my mind a bit stiller. But to Flemai. Give myself a little bit of slack, because you have all of this information now, right? Different planets, right? From different planets, from different places, right? Different this. Um, Consciousness, and how consciousness opens up into a new dimension. The religions that I've gone through, the past lives, ancient times like Egypt and Lemuria, and all of these different things that I've opened my mind to, which, like, I wasn't necessarily intensely looking for it. This came to me because this information possibly felt that I could be a channel for it. So it came to me, all of this information. Now I sit here with a fuckload of information, not knowing if I'm really meant to share it or not. I don't know if I'm meant to share it or not, but it is what it is. So there's two sides to this coin. I know, and I can feel it in spirit, that not necessarily, but I'm still working through my own wounding, you could say, or my own conditioning about this. In spirit, it feels like, or it could be my emotional response to something emotional, but it entangles itself with the spiritual. Difficult to understand, but it's like, because there's an emotion and you open your mind to the spiritual, it entangles itself with this whole thing. So if I didn't have an emotional body, if I didn't have the animal mind, the human mind, which is of course what you want to transcend, but there's an aspect of me that doesn't feel to rush it. There's so many things that I feel like I still have to experience and explore. So the self-sacrifice comes to mind. It's like, as still 22, there's still a shitload of stuff that I want to experience. A shitload. So much that I still want to do as a human, as fucking having fun. Right? See the Red Bull behind me. That's part of it, The spiritual self would not go there at all. Wouldn't, I still like to smoke rollies. And these are human things that are there. But there is this insane amount of pressure that I place on myself. Every single time I want to smoke a cigarette, I'm like, this is the worst mistake of your life. This is the worst mistake of your life. This is the worst mistake of your life. It's terrible. It's a terrible state of being to come in. So I have to build this reality, and I have to be like, okay, boom. Now I have this box that I built for myself. Now I can live in it comfortably, and I know what I'm comfortable with doing, and I know then I'm going to discipline myself. Okay, then I'm going to do this. But I have to step into that responsible role of myself and be like, okay, I take this control, or I at least give myself this, because I'm not going to keep on suffering, right? The tendency of the spirit is always to look for a solution for the suffering. So you experience suffering, and your natural spirit spiritual purpose is to find a solution to this. That's the spiritual purpose. It's like you feel it, it's not right, find a solution for it. And that's the purpose of your, that's your spiritual purpose. So I sit and I have this huge amount of information that I have, and I'm just still a human being, a normal human being that, explored. Like, I was like, this feels so cool. I'm going to explore with these different things, right? I'm going to explore. I'm going to see what information I can gain. I didn't know that I would gain so fucking much by looking. I've gained a lot of information about these things. So much information, you cannot fucking believe it. So, so I sit in this huge amount of information with a human self. So the human self, like that. Boom, boom. Boom, boom. Boom, boom. Boom, boom. Boom, boom. I don't know why I did that, but the human self finds its liberation. Look, in my genetics, I don't really understand the process of how I am linked with my genetics, because I know that there is spiritual protection. I know that there are spiritual connections. I know that there are things that I'm connected to that make this path of transcending beyond the genetics a bit easier, right? But it is my own ancestry as well. So it is your own soul that kicks in as well, that then has an effect. But the truth is that this physical body, which is a small aspect of you, still has tendencies. Not speaking of it, not speaking of, on it, the fact that my genetics, at my age, back then, they were living not as healthy, right? Not as in alignment with spiritual or this. So that genetic structure is still here. And that monkey mind, or that tendency, which is 90% of where I feel like my ancestry comes from, is completely impulsive. Is go with the impulse. Go with what you feel with your body, with your gut is right. To eat, to do this, to meat eating, and this and this. It feels like the right thing to do. And so that is still there. How do you balance that with this information? Because at the end of the day, what I see is that I have the choice. I have the choice as I sit here. I give myself the choice. I give myself the freedom. I share this information when I want to share it. It came to me. So I share what I want to share when I want to share it. It's up to me. And if I don't want to share it, then I don't want to. So I have to give myself that. I have to give myself that. I have to give myself that of, if I don't want to, I don't want to. I don't want to become a teacher, or I don't want to this. There's this thing that I heard a while ago, and they say, just a feeler. Just a feeler. And it's difficult to explain it, but I contemplated this concept a lot. Just a feeler. What does it mean to be just a feeler? Someone who just feels their way through life. So heart is feeling, gut is feeling, head is this whole thing, this whole entire thing that you are feels. You are, right? You are an essence and a vibration here in this body. And that is experiencing that which is coming from the outside. So I made a video about this before. Life is an awareness-based practice. So you, as an awareness in this world, as an energy in this world, you are experiencing the outside. and you have to feel consistently. So the need to be present is there the whole time, and there for the rest of the life, unless you create for yourself the space to do that. Unless you create that box for yourself to live in where you are safe enough to let go of that, so that you know, knowing, clarity. So I give myself the freedom. You don't have to. You don't have to share it if you don't want to. Nothing, none of this. You do not have to share it. It's completely yours. It's you and you alone. That no one has to know about it. I choose if I want to share it to you. I will choose. Easy to say that is selfish, but I don't feel that way, because for me, my experience right now is that there's way too much fucking pressure on me to be like sharing, because I know that when I talk, I'm just gonna create more and more and more and more and more and more of that same shit. To make you feel better, and this is something you can rest in, your past, present, and future, the whole thing, the whole picture of what you are, has already seen itself go through the process. So your past, your present, and your future have all happened. Not saying that it's in the past, but all of it have experienced itself. So your higher self is detached from that. Your higher self is your form, and your consciousness goes through this veil of illusion. Your form, who you are, is your higher self. Who you are is your higher self. But your awareness, that's the journey, that's the roller coaster, that's the path, path of discovering. Because life is about that. Life is about growth. Now, what I'm speaking about when I say how to build a resting place, you could say that this form that I am, the form that I am, the fully ascended, full version of myself, how would that version of myself be living? Where would that version of myself be living? How would it be living? Where would it be living? And who would it be living with? And all of these different things. So you have to be aware of that. I don't know why I say that, but that's where you're moving towards, right? That's obviously the goal, is to find this resting place for your natural form, so that you don't have to play this game. It's not a game. I don't always like to see it as a game. I don't always like to see this as a game. That higher form of yours, it has a resting place. It has a place where it's completely, like what they call nirvana, perfect peace. A place of perfect peace. So your higher form has that. It's already there. It already exists. You just have to find it and find a way towards it. And you'll see that more often than not is not materialistic. That more often than not is not a specific place, right? It could be like living in a forest instead of living in a desert, right? That makes sense, because it's like, okay, here there's more water. I resonate with water. So it makes sense to be like, I want to live by the ocean. That is where I feel more comfortable. So all of these different things. So what I mean by it's not materialistic, meaning that you do not have to stress about finding it. Just set the intention. Where is my higher self already experiencing itself? Where is my fully ascended 100% natural self already experiencing itself, living in perfect peace? and then just uncover that. Let that come to the surface. For me, an important thing, the higher self, I am a creator, I am a builder. That is who I am. I want to create, I want to build, I want to sit here and think about creating new stuff. That is the way I am. That is the way my soul and spirit wants to express itself. So